this video I wanted to talk about different types of data and how that impacts your study. So the data that you collect, as I talked about before, should always match your objectives of your study. And it should always, every question should go back into either a demographic question or something that's important for the discussion of your research. There's also certain types of data that you'll want to think about. This is especially true of ordinal data, like Likert scales. So these are really useful in rank 1 to 5. But you want to think about it because then you're creating ordinal data, which has to be analyzed slightly differently from continuous data. Also rank data, when you have people ranking multiple times especially, that becomes very tricky. So unless that rank data is answering a very specific question that you want to answer within your research, I would avoid that. If you have a list of check all boxes, each box will have to be its own column. So if that box is checked, it will be a 1, everything else and everyone else will be a 0 in that column for each question. So if you have 10 check boxes, you'll have 10 columns. And it's also important to think if you want to design your data around a random sample, which would be a randomly selecting from a population and you can generalize more from that, or if you're going to use a convenient sample. And sometimes a convenient sample is the best you can do, and it's useful to just understand a subset of the population, and you just have to account for that within your research. And then another important point is, when do you want to add qualitative answers or open responses? And qualitative answers, especially if you want to do qualitative coding, then that's great, but it should go back again to your study design. And what are those qualitative answers adding to your research?